30 million people play Padel, and most of them started in the last 5 years. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly what the sport is, why it exploded, and how to survive your first match. And if you come from tennis, one habit you already have will lose you that match all on its own. I'll name it at the end. First, why you should care. Sometime in the next year, someone is going to invite you to play this game. A friend, a colleague, or your club, when it converts 2 tennis courts into 6 paddle courts. If you walk on thinking it's just small tennis, a 60-year-old who took it up 6 months ago will take you apart in front of everyone. It happens every weekend on thousands of courts to confident tennis players who never saw it coming. So here's the plan: what Padel actually is, how the walls work, where this game came from, and why it spread so fast. Then the part that matters most, how points are actually won. Stay for that one. It will change how you play before you've ever hit a ball. Point number 1, what Padel actually is. Picture a tennis court that shrank in the wash, 20 meters long, 10 meters wide, roughly a third the size of a tennis court, with a net in the middle and walls all the way around. The back walls are glass, the sides are a mix of glass and metal mesh. The floor is artificial turf with sand brushed into it, which grips your shoes and slows the ball down just a touch. You play doubles almost always. Singles courts exist, but if you ever find one, it's probably gathering dust. The scoring is lifted straight from tennis: 15, 30, 40, game. 6 games for a set, usually best of 3 sets. Tiebreak at 6-all. Many clubs play a golden point at deuce. 1-point winner takes the game, just to keep things moving. If you can score a tennis match, you can score Padel today. A typical social match runs about 90 minutes, which is also why clubs love it. Bookings are predictable, courts turn over on schedule, and nobody is stuck waiting behind a 5-set epic. The equipment is where things change. The racket has no strings. It's a solid face with holes drilled through it, foam core, carbon skin, shorter than a tennis racket, and thicker through the head. The ball looks identical to a tennis ball but carries slightly less pressure, so it sits up slower and bounces lower. And the serve is underhand. You bounce the ball, hit it below waist height, and it has to land in the box diagonally opposite. That's the whole ceremony. No ball toss, no years of serving lessons. A complete beginner can rally within 10 minutes of first picking up a racket, and that single fact explains about half of this sport's growth. Point number 2, the walls, because this is what makes Padel its own sport instead of tennis in a cage. The rule is simple: the ball must bounce on the ground first. After that bounce, it can hit the glass and it's still live. So a ball that flies past you isn't gone. It comes off the back wall and you get a second chance at it. Think of it as tennis and squash having a child. From tennis, it takes the net, the scoring, and the shape of the strokes. From squash, it takes the idea that the wall is part of the court, not the end of it. The metal mesh sections add a little chaos of their own. A ball off the glass comes back true and predictable. A ball off the mesh can squirt out at any angle, and reading which one you're about to get is a skill in itself. For a tennis player, this rewires 2 deep instincts. The first is defense. In tennis, a ball that beats you is a winner, so your brain gives up on it. In Padel, you turn, follow the ball to the glass, and play it on the rebound. Some of the prettiest shots in the sport are hit by a player facing the back wall. The second instinct is attack, and this one hurts. That heavy topspin drive you spent years building, hit it hard into the back glass and it rebounds high and slow, straight onto your opponent's racket. Your best tennis weapon can literally feed the other team easy volleys. Which raises an awkward question. If power doesn't win points here, what does? Hold that thought, because the answer is the most valuable thing in this video, and it's waiting at point 4. Point number 3, where this game came from and why it caught fire, because the origin story is genuinely odd. In 1969, a Mexican businessman named Enrique Corcuera wanted a tennis court at his holiday home in Acapulco. The plot was too small. So he built a smaller court, 20 by 10, and put walls around it, partly to stop balls flying into the neighbor's garden. Then he wrote rules that used the walls instead of fighting them. His guests couldn't stop playing. One of those guests, a Spanish aristocrat named Alfonso de Hohenlohe, took the idea home and built the first courts in Marbella in the mid-70s. The Spanish jet set picked it up, Argentine visitors carried it across the Atlantic, and for decades it stayed a Spanish and Argentine obsession. In Spain today, Padel is the second most played sport in the entire country, behind only football, ahead of tennis. Sit with that for a second. In the nation that produced Rafael Nadal, more people play Padel than tennis. Then, around 2020, the borders broke. Courts appeared across Italy, Sweden, the Gulf states, Britain, and the United States, often faster than clubs could take bookings. Britain had roughly 50 courts in 2019. Today there are hundreds, many of them booked solid weeks ahead, and old tennis clubs are quietly converting courts to keep up with demand. The professional game unified under the Premier Padel Tour with real prize money and television deals. Footballers became missionaries for it. Messi has a court at home. Zlatan Ibrahimovic opened a chain of clubs in Sweden. A back garden experiment from 1969 turned into the fastest growing sport in the world. And the growth makes sense once you see the design. Padel is easy in exactly the places tennis is hard. Tennis has a brutal entry cost. Months of lessons before rallies feel good, a serve that takes years to trust, and if one player is much better, the game falls apart. Padel flips every one of those. The underhand serve works on day one. The small court means less running and shorter recovery between shots. The walls keep the ball alive so rallies last longer, and rallies are the fun part. Mixed levels still produce a decent game, which is rare in racket sports. Then there's the social engine. It's doubles, so every booking is 4 people by default. An hour on court, split 4 ways, often costs less than a round of coffees each. You chat between points because your partner is standing 2 meters away. Ask around any club and you'll meet people who say Padel replaced their gym membership and half their social calendar in the same month. Easy to start, cheap to play, and built for groups. That combination is rocket fuel, and no other racket sport has it. Point number 4, and this is the one I told you to wait for. If you remember a single thing from this video, make it this. Padel is won at the net, and it is won with patience. Coaches across Spain quote the same rough figure. The pair standing at the net wins around 70% of the points. Not the pair that hits harder, the pair that stands closer. The whole game is a tug of war over those few square meters near the net, and every shot you hit is really doing one of 2 jobs. It either helps you take the net, or it helps you keep it. This is where the lob comes in, and where tennis players have to swallow their pride. In tennis, the lob is a last resort, slightly embarrassing, the thing you do when you're out of ideas. In Padel, it's the most important shot in the game. A good lob pushes the net pair off their position, and while the ball hangs in the air, you and your partner walk forward and take the net from them. No pace on the ball at all, and it just won you the territory that decides the point. Picture it. Your opponents are camped at the net, volleying you to death. One deep lob over the backhand side, and suddenly they're the ones scrambling backwards while you stroll into their old spot. That trade, position for power, is the entire sport in one shot. So rallies breathe in, a rhythm tennis doesn't have. Defend off the glass. Wait a bit more. Lob, move up, volley, get lobbed yourself, drop back, and start again. Points are long, often 10 or 15 shots, and the winners are usually the pair that made one fewer mistake and took the net one more time. Players call it chess at 30 kilometers an hour, and for once, the cliche is earned. The smash exists, and at pro level, it's spectacular. Balls hit clean out of the court while the striker sprints through the side gate to play the return. But even the pros treat it as the final move of a plan, never the plan itself. Point number 5, how to actually start, because the barrier is lower than you probably think. A beginner racket costs somewhere between 40 and 80 pounds or dollars, and for your first few months, the cheap one is honestly fine. Balls cost about the same as tennis balls. Court hire splits 4 ways, and most clubs rent rackets, so your first session can cost you almost nothing beyond the booking. Finding a court used to be the hard part, not anymore. Search Padel Plus your city, or download Playtomic, the booking app most clubs run on. It also matches you with players at your level, which solves the other beginner problem, not knowing 3 other people who play. As for kit, whatever you'd wear to the gym is fine, though proper tennis or paddle shoes matter more than the racket does. That sanded turf grips hard, and running shoes with smooth soles will slide at the worst possible moments. For that first session, 3 things. 1. Shorten your swing. Paddle strokes are compact blocks and pushes, and the full tennis backswing is how you end up eating glass rebounds. 2. When a ball goes past you, don't give up on it. Turn, chase it to the wall, and try the rebound. It feels wrong for about 20 minutes, and then it feels like a superpower. 3. After every shot, ask yourself one question. Should I be moving toward the net right now? The answer is usually yes. Which brings us back to the promise from the start. The tennis habit that loses converts their first match as swinging for winners. Every time you load up a full power drive, the glass recycles it and hands your opponents a free ball while you're still off balance. Play for position, and you'll beat people who've played for months. If you keep one sentence from all of this, keep this one. Whoever holds the net wins the point. Your next problem is knowing exactly where to stand once you get there, and the video on your screen right now covers all 4 game situations. Go take the net.